Worthless insurance that just won't pay. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from ABC discussing Australian businesses fighting the insurance industry for payouts over coronavirus revenue losses. So let's see. I'm assuming it's business continuation insurance, or insurance to provide you with a portion of the revenue of your business. We'll have to see. I mean, we've all been sold these products. Did any of you get them? There you go. So let's look at this. Delph Humpht survived a near knockout blow when the economic crash drained his cafe of customers and put the future of his 15-year-old business on the lifeline. Well, he's not the only one. Small businesses around the world are bearing the price of this economic intervention. They're paying the price. Middle class, Xanaths. His only small comfort during the worst of the downturn was the belief his insurance policy covered him for this exact kind of revenue shock. His insurer believed otherwise. "I'm not going anywhere, I will fight," he said. Mr. Humpht is among at least 250,000 Australian businesses affected by a drawn-out legal battle over the fine print in insurance policies that looks set to stretch well into next year. "If the insurance industry just tries to hide behind the terms and conditions, I think that's diabolical," he said. Well, that's the insurance industry. Australia's financial regulator has now intervened with its strongest statement yet on the dispute, telling the insurance industry to throw its customers a lifeline and start paying out valid claims. Claims on these policies should be assessed and, where appropriate, paid in a timely manner to ensure that financial pressures on small businesses are not exacerbated by slow payment. Oh, that'd be nice. The Australian Securities and Investment Commission said in a statement to ABC Investigations, "If there are reasonable grounds to pay part of a claim but not to pay the full claim, we encourage insurers to make an interim payment." I mean, what do they expect? These are insurance companies. They're going to do everything they can to mitigate and minimize the costs to their business. This is time to watch Fight Club again, everyone. So does the COVID-19 count as a business interruption? At the heart of the dispute is a type of cover known as business interruption insurance, which is designed to bail out companies that have suffered a major disruption to trade, such as fire or natural disaster. The industry insists that policies are not designed to cover pandemics, so paying out claims like Mr. Humph's, I should be able to pronounce that, shouldn't I, would send a financial shockwave through the sector. Pandemics are something that have never been contemplated for cover simply because they're too large an event, said Andrew Hall, Chief Executive Officer of the Insurance Council of Australia. If you can get a price or a premium to cover a pandemic, it's likely to be very expensive. So, his insurer Zurich said he is not covered for COVID-19 because of an exclusion clause in the fine print means the policy does not pay out on claims related to pandemics. So, it's there, it's excluded. Maybe people just aren't aware of, I guarantee you, they're not aware of what they're getting from their insurance. That should be your broker. Your broker should set it out clear. If you wanted to make sure you were covered for pandemics, you should have explicitly asked for that. There's certain types of insurance that you try and get. As architects, years ago, we had a lot of trouble getting PI. So the Institute of Architects had to set up their own PI insurance body to actually provide insurance for architects so we could still practice. And there's also the issues with building certifiers having trouble getting insurance, where then you have the government stepping in as the insurer of last resort, which is not what you want. I did an interview with my insurance broker you can find on this channel if you'd like to learn more. So, yet there's a serious flaw in Zurich's position. The policy says the insurer is not liable for any diseases declared or quarantinable under the Quarantine Act of 1908 and any amendments to it. But that legislation no longer exists. It was replaced with the Biosecurity Act in 2015. Oh, well, come on. You can't. Yeah, still, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I don't know. I don't know. Zurich and many other big insurers offering business interruption cover failed to update the wording in their policies to reflect the new laws. They made a mistake, says Burrell and Watson lawyer John Burrell, who is representing Mr. Haupt and more than a dozen other business interruption insurance customers. I mean, come on. Okay. Well, when that act was removed and this legislation changed, you could argue the intent remains the same. So if a piece of, if what's occurred now would similarly be a disease declared as quarantinable under the Quarantine Act 1908, couldn't one argue that the intention is the same? Was there a significant reduction in the cost of the insurance or an increase in the cost of the insurance from when this legislation or this act was enforced to when it wasn't? I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the courts go about this. So it's ironic because I'm usually fighting insurance companies who are trying to rely on the fine print to knock back claims, but here the boot is on the other foot. The insurance company is trying to say, forget the fine print, we never meant to cover you, so we're not going to pay you. Zurich declined requests for an interview and in a statement said it does not comment on individual customers. I mean, here's the thing, if this goes through, if they're forced to pay this, what do you think's going to happen to insurance costs for everyone? It's just, you might get industries like the, what is it? Oh, recreational sports, extreme sports that can no longer get insurance, and that'll destroy entire sectors. This is what happens when the government intervenes, everyone. So the fight has $10 billion implications. It has more than that. It's not only big insurers with the outdated exclusions. The Insurance Council of Australia estimates around 250,000 business interruption policies contain specific references to the Quarantine Act, and there could be many more policies that use different wording to exclude pandemic cover. The ICA says that if insurers end up accepting every claim under those policies, the industry could be facing $10 billion in payouts related to the pandemic. That is double the $5 billion pool of funds the industry currently holds for business interruption cover. If all claims were paid, it would be a serious impact, not just on insurers, but also on policyholders and the economy more broadly, Mr. Hall from the ICA said. Yeah, this is not a good thing, everyone. The Insurance Council of Australia recognised the problem earlier this year and in August responded by funding a test case in the New South Wales Supreme Court aimed at resolving the question of whether insurers should pay up. In November, a panel of 5 judges in the New South Wales Court of Appeal unanimously ruled in favour of the customers involved in the test case, signalling that the insurance industry should start paying out the claims. The ICA has this week sought leave to appeal the ruling to the High Court, which means the dispute might not be resolved until next year. The legal advice we've received is that there are grounds for an appeal, and in fact we should pursue that appeal because it's very much in the public interest that a policy constructed as important as this is held up, Mr. Hall said. Lawyer John Burrell says the industry should start paying customers affected by the pandemic exclusion immediately. They have their heads in the sand saying, denied, denied, denied. Well, no, they don't have their heads in the sand. They've made references in these causes to legislation that's changed from one thing to another, everyone. So unless all of a sudden when that old act disappeared, you started paying more on your insurance, your business coverage insurance. So ICA's Andrew Hall said insurers have paid some clients. We do have examples in the healthcare industry and the entertainment industry where they have contemplated a pandemic closure and they have paid a premium for that. So those policies are being processed. He said, okay, so there is an opportunity for people to get a premium for it. So you're paying extra on top of that extra cover. Some big insurers also appear to be not denying COVID-19 related claims from customers who do not even have pandemic exclusions in their policies. Well, that's dodgy there. So I mean, this whole thing is a mess. It really is, isn't it? So Opal Business chasing lost millions. Damien Cody's case, his policy says that his Opal retailing business, which has been ravaged by the collapse in international tourism, is covered in the event of a pandemic. Okay. Specifically, his policy says the business is covered for any damage related to a serious disease outbreak within 20 kilometers of its premises. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, no. You want it greater than that. You want it greater than that. That's the problem. That's it. I bet you there's none. Yet his lawyers, AXA and Lloyds, have denied his claim. It's indefensible, he said. I just don't know how they can do that. Well, where is your business, mate? In its rejection letter, AXA argues that the policy does not cover business losses related to an overall economic slowdown as a result of a pandemic. Lloyds, which is the underwriter on the policy, said in a supplementary rejection letter that the stores are not covered because health authorities did not specifically order them to close. It seems to me, well then, you should sue the government. It seems to me that what they're doing is just issuing denials of these claims and hoping that small guys like us will just walk away from it, Mr. Cody said. We're not going to walk away from it. We're going to fight this tooth and nail, and we'll get the result that we believe we deserve. Both AXA and Lloyds denied to comment on Damien Cody's claim. Mr. Cody is also a Beryl and Watson client, has lodged a dispute with the Australian Financial Complaints Australian Financial Complaints Authority, I'm assuming, to get paid. Because the claim could be worth in excess of $2 million, however, it may end up being above AFCA's financial threshold and need to be resolved in court. We're losing money every day that this is going on. We're losing truckloads of money, he said. A big legal action will be another huge expense for us. Australia is not alone in grappling with the question of pandemic cover in businesses, in business interruption insurance. In the United Kingdom, regulator, the Financial Control Authority, moved to resolve the issue earlier this year by launching its own test case to resolve whether insurers are liable under 21 different policy wordings. In September, the UK's High Court ruled that in most cases the insurers were liable. ASIC says it does not have the authority to launch the same kind of process to reach a resolution in Australia. So there we have it, everyone. This looks like a complete and utter mess, and I'm really worried of the wider implications of this. Of the much wider implications of this, guys. You know? What do you reckon? Do you think the insurers should pay? Do you think the fact that they exempted it under one act and the act changed, that gets them out of it? Or should people be paying a specific premium if they want that type of cover? Or is it just fair to assume that you're covered for anything if your business is interrupted? Or do the people even go through it? Or do you get your broker to go through it? What do you reckon, guys? It's all a big, terrible mess. And we'll have to see. I'm just hoping all of our insurance costs don't go through the roof again. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.